Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Power of Words. And I am so excited, and I've been excited actually for the last 2 days, because we have with us here today Natasha Graziano, one of my favorite people, because she actually spends her life inspiring and motivating people. And Natasha, I'm so happy to have you to share the power of your words, which you already do, but I'm grateful to have you on The Power of Words by Talib Blanc.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. One of my favorite people too. I'm so grateful for our friendship, and I'm so excited to be here today supporting your amazing show.
You know, I believe no two people come into a space without purpose. And I am grateful to have had you be one of our ambassadors for the power of words and spread your positivity. You inspire the young generation, and I've got teenage kids and young adults, and you know, it's really important that they find their way, they find their path. And I love what you do. I love your talk about scripting. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Lovely. Thank you. Yes, scripting is rewriting your story. Scripting is essentially recognizing that you are the director of your movie. You choose your character and you write your script. So every day we get a choice whether we're going to continue playing the same character we were yesterday, or whether we're going to wake up and redesign it. You know, I see people who have changed their names multiple times in their lifetime. I've changed my name 3 times. Not because, you know, well, I got married and got married again, but because I also knew I was stepping into a new character. I didn't have to change my name, but I wanted to become somebody different. I didn't want to keep being the same girl I always was, or I would still get the same results. So one day I started to write down and describe this new version of Natasha. What does she think? What does she feel? What actions does she take? What habits does she have? What does she do every day? What was her goal? What was her purpose, her motivation? And I redesigned this version of me, and I bottled it up, and there and behold was born the new Natasha. But scripting is different, because scripting is not writing it in the present tense or in the future tense. One day I will be. Scripting is writing it as though you've already achieved it. It's writing it down in the past tense. Like, I became the #1 female motivational speaker in the world. I was featured in Forbes magazines multiple times. I was on the cover of magazines. I was on major podcasts. And guess what? Every single one of those things came true and more. But I wrote it all down in the past tense. And I didn't just do it once. I did it every day. Every day, every day, every day. Because that was me sticking to it, making it a habit, redesigning my character.
So when you script and when you imagine you are where you are, you actually had to make the steps to get there.
Yes.
How do you do that?
So when I was in my lowest point, I had no money in my bank. I was in fact in hundreds of thousands of debt. I did not know where my life would take me the next day. At my lowest point, I didn't even want to be around anymore. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'd given up. I'd given up hope on myself. I was at my most vulnerable. And I remember looking at my son, and he was young at the time, and I remember thinking, I'm going to do this for you. And I'm not going to leave you. And I'm going to do something with my life so I can inspire you. So I can be your role model and then go on and be somebody else's role model in this world. And little by little, day by day, I stuck to it. And I remember walking into a charity store one day, one of the thrift stores, and they had clothes which were, you know, with tags on. And I chose a brand which I liked, and I thought, I'm going to wear these clothes, and I'm going to go on the street and get someone to take a picture for me, because I knew if I could reignite my social media, if I could use my social media again to get sponsored and endorsed by brands, I could make some money. And I had this big list of all the debt that I needed to pay off, but I knew I could pay off the minimal payment. I could carry on until I got myself out of that mess. So I went in, I put on an outfit, I walked in the street, I put on the outfit, got a stranger to take the picture. I didn't like it, so I asked somebody else, but hey, what the hell, it doesn't matter. I put it on my Instagram, I tagged the brand, I pressed upload. The brand contacted me the next day and said, Natasha, we love this post. We would love to send you more clothes and pay you for your posts. And I thought, gosh, wow, this could be the start of something for me, and it was. From there, I got endorsed by that brand. And then I got endorsed by more brands and more brands and more brands and more brands until I was literally building this fashion influencer thing. And that's how I started to crawl out of the mess.
You know, there are millions of young kids that want to do and follow the path you've been down. And I want to say, 10% of them get where you are today, and some will never. But what does it take in terms of being able to deal with? I think what a lot of kids are dealing with these days is putting things on Instagram and getting all that backlash from people. How do you deal with negativity on Instagram? It is such a huge problem, and I've talked to young influencers about this, but you've been there, you've done that. How do you deal with that?
So backlash is just people being keyboard warriors. They sit behind a keyboard and they write abuse because they are wearing a mask. And I'm like, sweetie, remove the mask so we can all see you, so you can be who you really want to be, which is a nasty piece of work. But most of them don't, because they don't want to admit they're in there. Every time somebody says something nasty to you, it's just a reflection of what they're going through. They're just literally putting what they're going through onto you. So they're taking the label off themselves and sticking it on you. Temporarily. Some people hold on to that label and they're, oh my God, she called me fat. Oh my God, she said I'm this. Oh my God, he said I'm that. And they stick with it. What I've learned to do is treat it like water off the wings, like a bird. Whenever water lands on a wing of a bird, it simply just drips off the wing. It doesn't stick to it, which is how the bird continues to fly. So I treat it like water off the wings. I'm the bird. Whenever people say something, I know it's just a reflection of what they're going through. Yeah. We're never going to please everybody. There are so many people that will never be interested in my work. I say the same thing as somebody else does, and they listen to somebody else, but that's okay. But there are so many people, in fact, 20 million and more people that adore my work.
Absolutely.
That love it and want to listen. So I do it for that person. I do it for the person who wants to change their life. Absolutely. I don't listen to the small voices, because absolutely nobody above you gives a shit. It is only the people beneath you who do.
Well said. I like that. And that's such a great message. Managing your well-being and staying upbeat. You're always upbeat. I mean, I see you for tea, and you're the same person that I see on Instagram. You're exactly the same person I see on stage when you're doing an event. How do you manage to keep that? I call it my morning coffee. How do you manage? What's your support system? How do you manage your mental well-being?
So I just believe that who you are is who you are all the time. Excellence is not what we do sometimes, it's what we do all the time. I am through and through who I am today. So when I sit with you for tea, it's just my soul smiling. When I'm on stage, it's my soul smiling, and that energy is going out into the world. So I protect my energy a lot. I don't keep many people around me. I barely have any friends. You're one of the only people that I sit down for tea with. The people that I ever meet up with, I usually love you. It's because I usually do business. I usually have business with them, and that's why I do things with them. And so and then I build friendships off that. I protect my energy. I protect that light inside of us, our chi, with all I have. And then where I exert my energy, I choose very carefully. Whether that is a meeting, or whether that is a conversation, or whether that's going online or using social media, I protect what I do so diligently. When I wake up, I think, okay, is that meeting worth it? I have a little sticker on my laptop, and all my team have it, and it says, is this worth it for me? And I ask it before every one of my meetings, before everything I go into. Is this worth it for me? I will not talk on a stage unless it's worth it for me. By worth it, I mean, am I reaching enough people? Is this audience ready? I will not go on a podcast unless I believe it has an amazing effect in the world, like yours, the power of your words, right? So
I have to stop you because you're going to make me cry. The power of words is new, where you don't have that big audience that you normally have. So thank you. So I'm sorry to have interrupted you, but thank you for that. It means so much that you wanted to be here, and because I was going to say, you know, why power of words? Why did you pick?
Well,
to
for
be
me,
part of
it's
the
so
Power of
personal
Words?
because you've designed so many wonderful pieces for me, which goes so beyond the robes themselves. It goes as far as the words that I'm wearing. I've got a long black leather coat, which you guys can insert a picture on here right now, where I'm wearing this black coat that says warrior on the back. I've got other outfits where I wear things that have words on which mean so much to me, empathy and compassion that you've designed for me. And I love that. And so I wear it with hope that other people will feel what they wear. Makes them feel amazing. Clothes go so beyond what we just put on.
Absolutely.
Every day, this is how I get dressed. I decide a character I want to play. So today, I was like, badass bougie bitch. I was like, let's go.
Oh, you're Superwoman.
Superwoman. I was like, what would she wear? That is how I decide my day. I don't go into my wardrobe and think that would look nice with this and that. This is what some stylists do. They're amazing at it, right? I just decide my character. I'm like, who is she? She's optimistic, or she's grateful, or she's, I don't know. And I design it and I play a character every single day. Sometimes I show up wearing a Audrey Hepburn inspired outfit. Sometimes I dress like someone from The Lion King. You know, I play characters every day and I have so much fun with it.
I love that. I love that you bring this drama into your life, and you're like you said, you're constantly upbeat, and you love living that personality that you are. How do you? I saw you on the beach, biking on the beach. Is that your downtime? Is that where you let your hair down and be what you want to be? Quality time, sitting by the pool. Is that part of rejuvenation?
Yes. Every Sunday, every weekend, every day when I can, I put my feet in the sand. It's grounding for me. So grounding is actually scientifically proven to help improve your immunity. It helps you to get centered with Mother Nature, with the earth. So every day, where I can, I go on the grass or in the ocean, and I put my feet in the sand, in the ocean. I feel the energy going through my body. It's how I healed myself. Part of the way that I healed myself when I had the illness was I did grounding. So I don't forget it. I don't just stop because I was healed. I continue all the time. I go on the ocean, I meditate, I play with my son. That's what we do. We go on bike rides on the ocean all the time. And that is part of my well-being, my mindfulness. That's part of my what I call wellness breaks, where I commit to me the same way I would commit to a meeting. And I take time to heal, time to think, time to dream, time to be. And this is what I do when I'm on the ocean. Everywhere around you on the ocean, if you're walking along the beach, somebody's going to try this, I know, today or tomorrow. And you can see on the sand. If you're standing on the ocean, you look up on the sand, wow, you can see this layer of like a jelly-like substance. It's invisible. That is what Napoleon Hill and Joseph Murphy both talk about as the invisible substance, where we imprint our thoughts into our subconscious mind. All around us is a jelly-like substance. You can really see it when you're on the ocean. And when I'm there, I see it and it reminds me. Technically, it's just heat waves, but it's the energy and it just reminds you. It's not just there. It's all around me all the time. So everything I'm thinking, I'm imprinting onto it. So when I'm on the ocean, I particularly think about imprinting my thoughts. I'm imprinting what I want. I'm imprinting my next goal, the things I want to manifest, the things I want to achieve, the children I want to help in the world, through the schools that I'm building, the lives I want to impact. And I imprint it onto this invisible substance all around me.
Above the sand.
Yes, I can see it. Anyone can see it. It's just there. And then I watch it come to fruition.
You know, it's funny. I always said, and I've said this to my kids, and I've said it in a couple of talks as well, I want to leave behind a little grain of sand to say I was on this planet. And girl, you're leaving behind a beach full of sand. So I'm so grateful for all this amazing work you do, and all of the young people and the older people that you're inspiring. Let's talk about the magic of 7 and the power of 7. So from the 7 words we have, and the power of words now has impact, which is the 7 words. What would be the word you pick today?
Well, for me, it's resilient. I stuck it on here and it's just in my little bag, and it says resilient. To me, the reason I've chosen resilient is because resilience is how we change our lives. Resilience is how we get out of the mess. Resilience is how we create something amazing. Resilience is how we get from A to B. Resilience is the way that we are and the way we choose to be. You can also go the opposite way and give up. You can go the opposite way and let the bad things penetrate you, your thoughts and your feelings. But being resilient means it's water off the duck's wing. It's water off the bird's wing.
I love that.
Resilient. It's not going to touch me because I'm covered in wax. And water don't stick to wax, darling.
Well, for everybody out there, water don't stick to wax. So flutter your wings and fly. Natasha, thank you for being this amazing, inspirational human being and for being in our lives.
Thank you so much.
Love you.